So, I'm Charlene Sauce of Sauce is Best. It's CEO and it's self-taught chef. And if you're wondering what that blue is on my hand, I suffered a cooking injury. So I'm all bandaged up and have to heal for a few days. But that's what happens often in kitchens. Not to worry though, I'm fine, all is well. But on to our 4 signature sandwiches. Now, speaking of signature dishes or specialty items, you can find the specialty items and any special events in my travel plans at saucesbestcatering.com on the specialty items and events page. So I already had 2 specialty sandwiches. They are the Sauce's Best Breakfast Burger and the Sauce's Best Giant Biscuit Burger. The 2 new additions that we're working on that were created yesterday, filmed yesterday, photographed yesterday, are the Sauce's Best BBQ and Slaw Sub and the Sauce's Best Linguine Meatball and Shrimp and Vodka Sauce Submarine. All of these sandwiches are huge. I believe in large portions. I know everybody doesn't always want large portions. So if I'm ever doing personal chef creations for you, just let me know, because yes, I love creating beautiful but large stuff similar to me. So, but get ready for those items to be added, and you'll be able to see them on the site along with their description and pricing either this evening or tomorrow. Today's date is January the 11th of 2021. And so depending on when you're watching this video, it's already posted on the site for your enjoyment. Thanks for your support, and I can't wait for you to taste several of my good, authentic, made with love, I call it made with a taste of Maryland love dishes. Enjoy. All right. See where I got my handy dandy masher out, mashing up these tomatoes. Getting them all mashed up. Then we're going to add the other stuff. Did you know most of the flavoring of a tomato, as I learned from watching a chef show, is actually in the stalk? You can actually make a thing called tomato tea to serve as a dressing with certain foods. Yep, it's a thing. Anyway, so you can see, mashing those up, and then I'll add some tomato paste and just a couple of other things to it. I'm actually going to end up adding the meat to it as well. I'm actually going to mix everything that's going to go in the middle of the raviolis in this pan, but I need the tomatoes and the sauce to cool down before we add the other things like the cheeses and such, so everything doesn't melt. I just wanted to show you that. All right. Alright, so I brought you back just for a second because I want you to see the other things we put in there. You can see it bubbling, and pardon my cat. But there is some onion powder. And there is some garlic powder. Normally I would use these real things, and I am going to put some minced garlic in here. But onion pieces might just cause a problem in ravioli, and I don't want them to burst, so it's better just to use the powder in this instance. Of course, we're going to add a little salt, a little olive oil, tomato paste, and maybe 1 can or 2 of like some regular spaghetti sauce just to give it that extra kick. But as you can see, most of the sauce is from homemade. All right. Before I forget, I did also put in fresh oregano and fresh parsley, as you can see, and with one hand, trying not to drop my phone in. I'm just going to show you me mashing this tomatoes up a little more. I have an immersion blender, but I don't really want to make this too fine. I want kind of the texture of the tomatoes in there, but I don't know. I may end up having to pull it out, like once this is cooked down some more and cooled down some more. All right. So now I've mixed in and I've turned up. Pardon my dog now. Every time I talk to you guys, one of my animals wants to be crazy. I do apologize. There's nothing wrong with him. He's been fed. He has water. He's just outside for potty and playtime and doesn't want to be. But it's not cold, so he is not coming back in just yet. Anyway, the best way to get the most flavor in when you're making a sauce, especially an Italian one, normally you would want to have ground veal, ground pork, and ground beef. But I'm just using ground beef and ground Italian sausage. And I'm going to let this simmer probably for about an hour or so. And then I'm going to take it off to cool. And that's when we'll begin making the dough. Or I might just rest for like 30 minutes to make the dough because I forgot it needs to set in the fridge for at least 30 minutes just to make sure that it's, set correctly. Actually, not even the fridge. I can just cover it and set it out, but it needs to set. You can't just make the dough and then immediately use it. So, all right, be back in a bit. All right, so we're just going to ignore my dog who is cutting up because he seems to think he's going to be in this kitchen area while I'm cooking, and I absolutely do not allow that. But anyway, you can see the pasta. We're going to let it rest for 30 minutes. And then we're going to come back and begin rolling out our raviolis. We're going to use our dessert plating utensils to make perfect circles. And we're going to use the fork to make the creases or fringes, whatever you prefer to call them. All right. Okay, guys, so I'm back. You can see I'm rolling out what's going to be the first batch of ravioli. And you still hear my dog being crazy. Really not sure what's wrong with that guy today, but at any rate. All right. It's pretty thin, and I hate when that happens because I don't want it to be quite this thin. So we're going to try to jimmy it back here without turning it. All right. I'm going to cut off anything that's not straight because, well, don't really need it if it's not straight. Or I can mix it back into the next ball. Yep, you can do that. Just going to sit it aside for now. I'll spin this again, roll it one more time. Again, taking off any edges that might be too thin and making them into a nice little side pile there that can be added to the next ones that I roll out. All right, so here we have this, right? And the dog is chirping again. That seems to be the theme of today. So what I'm gonna do now, because I really like to focus when I'm doing things like this, is get the cutter, and I'll come back and show you them after I've cut them into circles and after I've stuffed them. But right now what I'm about to do is get the cutter and give this my full attention. Be back in a bit. Alright, so just want to show you this real quick. This is the filling. There is some meat sauce in there, one large container of ricotta, and some sliced up baby spinach. I'll be back in a bit. Okay, so my cooking area now looks like a murder scene or a flour explosion. It happens. But here are 9 perfect large ravioli. 3 will be fried, the other 6 will be boiled. All right, so just showing you that. There you go. Okay, guys, so here they are all done. We had one lose a little bit of its ruffle back there, but overall, very, very, very happy with how these turns out. I'm about to make my vinaigrette for my salad, and I'm about to fry 3 of these in breadcrumbs, and I'll be back once I have everything all plated. Okay, so we have it. We have 1 boiled and 1 fried. And what is it without the sauce, right? Look at that. And this is the homemade sauce that I made. Just gonna just drizzle that all on top. Just a little more. And then what I'm about to do, just want to show that to you carefully there. I'm going to, of course, do what I always do and just do a rotation of this in a moment. But I also made this lovely vinaigrette, which is going to go with a couple of spoonfuls on our salad. Let me grab a different spoon for that. Just a little drizzle. Made a mess on my stove there, didn't I? Just a little drizzle of this. And this is just what they call power greens or baby spinach, arugula, a little red onion, and some diced tomato. And then last but not least, let me set this down. Pardon the kitchen. It looks like a murder scene. A lot's been going on today. And the last thing I'm going to get is just some fresh green, just to sprinkle on the plate to make it pretty. And the last thing we're going to do is just a little bit of parsley, just to give everything a little dash of color. And voila, there you have it. I'm going to get the final snapshot or video of it in a pic, and then I'm going to finish serving my family their dinner. All right. Just going to hold this up. Here you have it. Coming close so you can see the fried ravioli and then the boiled one. Come overhead so you can see how big they are in comparison to the plate. A nice salad, and some mozzarella toasted crostini. Enjoy.